You all typed fuck rock. I know you did. Right? So taking these things, sanding these skateboards, and then again doing this analog transfer, looking at this generated piece with digital tools, and then trying to reinterpret it on the skateboard. And it's been thrilling because it has a whole other texture and feel to it that I'm really appreciating, which is cool. Now, all of this is play, right? We haven't even talked about work. We haven't even talked about how I make money. But play, for me, has to start simple, right? So if you're going to start playing, keep it simple. Give yourself a project. Make the rules of that project really, really simple. A really great movie for you to watch is Lars von Trier. It's a movie called The Five Obstructions. Anyone seen it? Yeah, it's fucking amazing! Right? The first obstruction, he's got to like remake his film, and he says, all right, I'm going to give you these rules in order to make this film. And the guy's like, okay, cool, what are the rules? He's like, where have you never been? He says, Cuba. He says, cool, you have to make the film in Cuba. And the guy's like, oh, all right. He starts walking away, he's like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm not done. And the guy's like, oh, okay. He's like, yeah, you got to film a sex scene. It's got to like have this happening. It's got this thing. There's got to be a dragon. There's got to be, and no frame can be longer than 12 frames. What was it? Like 12 frames per second, right? So the whole first film, like, and you're like, fuck! This is amazing! Bananas. The Five Obstructions, really great film. I recommend it for any artist. It's how to make things within boundaries, right? So play, I'm giving myself boundaries, I'm giving myself projects, and I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with these things, but I'm making them. And sometimes things go wrong. And so this thing kind of went wrong, and I thought it was really cool. But I totally fucked up my code, and I got these really weird things happening. And so sometimes failure produces these really beautiful accidents. This thing happened. I don't know what the fuck that is. But this thing happened, and I thought, oh, I wonder if this is using L systems. If you're a programmer, this is using Lindemeyer systems. It's a really great structure for making stuff. Really cool. And so this got generated, and I said, oh, I wonder if I could use that as a blueprint for a typeface, right? So you can see in the upper left-hand corner, I kind of used that thing and tried to figure out how many different ways could I make type within that structure, right? And so it's all play. It's all play for me. And this leads me to this. Now, I just want to talk about this for a little second because this is fucking awesome. I love doing this. SoundCloud? You guys all use SoundCloud? Yeah? Okay. I fucking go on to SoundCloud and I like listen to music and it's like good stuff. Like I listen to some really good stuff. And so I listen to it, and it ends up that I find this guy Bones. So I'm like listening to the thing, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then I looked at his logo, and I was like, fuck, his logo sucks. So for about 2 days, I worked out a logo, and I started generating like all these patterns, and I just fucking emailed the guy, and I said, hey, my name's Josh Davis. This is your new logo. If you happen to do a record, this is the art. Please don't use blue. Here's the colors that you can use. Please leave this space around the type. It's like a 16-year-old kid. He's like, okay, I won't use blue. But now, a couple things I want to type. One, I gave myself a project. And what a really great project. Go on to SoundCloud, listen to the music, fucking come up with a brand campaign for that person, and then just send it to them. Because if you do that a lot, maybe one day the dude's going to be famous. And he will fucking pay you. Just saying. Creative play. You know? I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just making shit. And, you know, again, a lot of this stuff that I make, I put into print, you know? So I do a lot of print with this creative play. You know, there's no client here, it's just Josh making shit. And you can buy that. I'll sell it to you. I'll sell you my play. No, I don't make a lot of money off this stuff. I actually make enough money just to buy paper and keep printing more posters. So don't think that that's a good way to make money. But it's a way to keep engaging in creative play and get it out to the world, right? Now, another thing that's really important with play is collaboration, embracing collaboration. And I love collaborating with kids. Kids are fucking magical. Here I was trying to teach watercolors, and my fish is the one on the bottom, the one that's like yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red. And the kid is on the right, like, we'll do blue here, and then red, and then the water will be rainbow. Kids will really help you get out of your shit fast. I really love collaborating with children. Really awesome, creative individuals. This is Sarah Blake. She's an illustrator that I really enjoy her work. And with collaboration, like I seek out people who are very different than me. Here she's done like all the sea life, and she hand draws everything, and then she scans it and colors it in Photoshop. Like, she's not a programmer, doesn't have anything to do with what I do. And I end up taking these things and trying to come up with these hybrids. So like this is using sine wave oscillations, and I'm just sort of twisting and stretching these Bezier strings. And from that, I come up with these really fun collaborations with people. And I love collaboration. And this is another guy that I really love collaborating with, Chuck Anderson. Chuck is amazing. You can see some of his artwork in the background. It's like really brilliant. And I said, dude, we should collaborate. And he's like, yeah, totally. And then he fucking like gives me this. And I'm like, holy shit. I have what do I do with this? It's like, it's a mess. And I take this and I try to like pull out these parts, and we ended up like making these like totems from his drawings. So this is just my programming and his artwork. To try to see, like, what kind of things that we can come up with together. And interestingly enough, this is where I got the idea for the skull. Look at that thing on the bottom. Doesn't that look like a skull? You see the eyes and the mouth is open. It's got horns. And so again, it's being open to accidental inspiration. And that's where I totally got the idea to do these skulls. Now, I have to tell a story about Chuck. Okay? So listen up. This is really fucking important. No shit. Take notes. When I heard Chuck speak for the first time, he was 19. He was 19 years old. And he was giving a talk in front of like 1,000 people. And he was really fucking nervous. Really nervous. And it ends up that Chuck gets up on stage, and he's got like a slide up. And Chuck's talking. He's talking. Just talking away, talking away. And it seems like he's talking for a really long time. Guy's got an hour. He's talking, he's talking, he's talking. He's never left the first slide. Finally, this person comes out and says, Chuck, you have 5 minutes. He talked for 55 minutes straight, and he never left the first slide. He's like, I got 5 minutes? There was that. I really like that. I really like that. Feathers. That one was with feathers. That was a pen. And I did bags. 5 minutes, 4 minutes. Okay. People drawing. Good idea. Really good idea. And boom! Like and he's like, thank you! And he walked off. But that's not what was amazing about Chuck. Chuck told the story. And I said, Chuck, you're 19 years old. I am 19 years old, yes. And I'm like, holy shit. And everybody knows who you are. Like, everybody knows who you are. You're like a really great illustrator. And you're fucking 19. I'm 19. And I said, how did you do it? And he says, well, this is what I did. I went to the bookstore. And at the bookstore, they have magazines. Okay? And I just took all the magazines off the rack. Just grabbed them all. I had a fucking stack of magazines. And then I walked over to the coffee shop that's inside of the bookstore. And I put all the magazines down, and I had a notebook and a pen, and I opened up the magazine, and I wrote down the magazine, okay, ESPN magazine, and I looked to see who the creative director was. And I wrote down the creative director's name. And if it had an email, I wrote down the creative director's email. And I did that for about 300 magazines. And then I just put all the magazines back. Because you don't have to buy them. And then I went home, and I emailed all these people. And I said, hey! My name is Chuck! I really like your magazine. And this is what my work looks like, and I want to do artwork for your magazine. Send. Next email. ESPN magazine. Hey! My name is Chuck. I really like your magazine. I want to do artwork for your magazine. I really like it. We should do work. And I said, holy shit, so you did that with all these magazines? He said, yes. And I said, well, what if the email address wasn't there? He says, oh, that was easy. I would look at the magazine and it would say Joshua Davis. So I would do joshua.davis@magazine.com. And then it would come back to me. And then I would do j.davis@magazine.com. And I would send. And then it would come back to me. And then I would type joshua@magazine.com and I'd send it. And then it wouldn't come back. And then I knew that was the email. Now here's where it gets fucked up. I said, how many people emailed you back? He said 70%. I said, holy shit, I think I just peed a little. I said, how much of that turned into work? And he said, almost all of it. At one time I had 9... Let's try that again. Say. Listen, Diablo 3 came out. I have not slept a lot. Diablo 3 comes out at 3 in the morning in New York. And who's playing Diablo 3? Yeah. At 3 in the morning, join, no, join, no, join, no, join, no. 3:45, join, success. And then I played for 12 hours. Level 18 wizard.